Hello, beautiful people. Coming to you from my back porch for this newsletter. It is May 1st, and I miss you guys so much. So I spent the day yesterday celebrating my son's 10th birthday. And, when I think about it, I just think how hard it is to believe that my son is 10 years old. It's crazy how time flies. It seems like yesterday, Stacy and I were at the hospital, and I was telling her, I was like, honey, hurry up. I am ready to meet this boy. Probably wasn't the wisest thing to put pressure on her in that moment. But time is, such a strange thing. In the moment, you feel like there's all this time in the world. But then you blink and you've moved ahead a whole year, or 5 years, or a decade, or even longer. It says in 2 Peter chapter 3 that to God a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day. I used to take time for granted. But it seems the older I get, the more I deeply appreciate time, especially the time that I have. Those little moments within time. The other thing about time is that it gives us opportunities. It gives us opportunities to learn. And with time, there is regret. There's relief. There's a gradual understanding of things that are nearly impossible for us to comprehend until time actually allows us to experience those things, the successes or the failures or whatever it is. For example, being a parent or being married or even being a young disciple of Jesus. When we are young parents or we are young in our marriage or we are a young Christian, we're excited. And we may even go into it bold and confident, thinking we actually know something. But the big picture of all these phases of our lives don't really come into focus until time has passed. And then we realize, looking back, I didn't have a clue. It's funny too, because folks who have been around, they try to help the younger folks to understand this concept. But most of the younger folks, they just smile and think, well, what a sweet old man, or what a sweet old adorable woman. Job 12:12 says, is not wisdom found among the aged? Does not long life bring understanding? Early on, I rolled my eyes at older brothers and sisters in the church who attempted to share their wisdom and their experiences with me. But as I continued to make a mess of things in my young marriage with Stacy and with my young children, Chloe, Reese, and Tatum, I finally began to wise up and I started to listen. But it's time that teaches us this. It's the same thing with anything that we experience, anything that we go through. So what will time reveal about you and about the decisions that you make? What will time reveal about us after this pandemic? And pandemic or not, what will time reveal about you in whatever phase of life you're in right now? So today, I am celebrating 26 years since I was baptized. I remember when it was 6 years, and Stacy and I were just talking about that the other day, but I've already skipped ahead to 26. About 3 years or 3 months into being a young Christian, I almost left the church. I didn't know then what I knew now, but if I did, I would never have considered leaving. Time had not yet had its influence on me then, and I hadn't yet been able to experience the relationships to the depth in which I ultimately would in the church, or my marriage, or in parenting. It was patience and time that would ultimately bring me to an understanding of how God truly works, through good times and through bad. I'm so grateful I did not leave the church. Time taught me this. Because if I had walked away from God And if I had walked away from the church, I would not have celebrated or been able to celebrate Tatum's 10th birthday yesterday. I wouldn't have been able to experience two beautiful daughters all these years who have fallen in love with God and love Him with all of their heart. And I would not have Stacy. I would not be able to celebrate her birthday today, which is today. By the way, happy birthday, my love. But most of all, I wouldn't have what I have with God. What a tragedy that would be. And it's time, and only time, that has revealed that to me. And I'm so grateful for my relationship with God, and I'm so grateful for the body, for His church, and all the relationships that I have in it. So, if you're a young teen or young campus student, or you're a young married, or you're a young parent, I want you to know that time flies. And it's going to fly quickly, and it may not feel that way right now, but it will. And I promise, if you're rolling your eyes at my words right now, one day you will emphatically come to believe what I'm saying here. In time. I promise. You will look back one day and either you'll wipe your brow and you'll say, thank goodness, I took to heart what Jared was saying. Or you'll wonder, what if I had listened? What if I had believed what Jared was saying? But here's the thing. I hope you will believe me now. Time does fly, and so much will come into focus, and so much will be revealed. Just stick with it. I look forward to being on the other side of this pandemic in time. And in time, we will be on the other side of it. And there will be so much that all of us will have learned and will have been able to build off of as a church and as individuals. Remember time. At every phase of your life, no matter what that phase is or what circumstance you face, time will reveal the fruit of how you choose to proceed. Brothers and sisters, have an amazing weekend. I love you. I miss you. And in time, we will all be together again. Stay faithful.